Oh, okay, that was a complete waste of my time. So cross. That's what happens when you live with cats. So Zarina's just popped into her work to try and get some equipment, and then I've got to quickly run to fetch my passport that I applied for before lockdown, and only now has it arrived and is ready for collection. Okay, that was a complete waste of my time. So cross. Serious conversation, so naturally one ties one's hair up and takes off one's glasses. So I applied for both my ID and my passport at the same time, and this was pre-lockdown, roughly about, say, February, right? In mid-June, my ID was ready for collection, so I went off and I got that, and I posted it on Instagram. Yeah, it was great and wonderful. But obviously the passport hadn't arrived yet, and I was informed by the people at FNB that it is very, very likely that the passport may come only once lower levels of the lockdown are implemented. And a few days ago, I got an SMS from both FNB and the Department of Home Affairs to say that my passport is in fact ready for collection at the FNB branch. So I had made an official application to have my name changed in the beginning of the year, and so those changes only reflected at the Department of Home Affairs kind of in February, and so only then could I apply for a new ID and a new passport with my new name reflecting. So after collecting the ID, I was very, very much happy with it, and now my passport was ready for collection as being notified by the Department of Home Affairs and both FNB. You get up like nice and early to get there when the branch opens so that you're there on time. Also, I've got a whole day of work ahead of me, so I want to get this out of the way. So I get to the FNB and the woman at the door asks, "How can I help you?" To which I then say, "I'm coming to collect my ID at the Department of Home Affairs at your branch." So now apparently the Department of Home Affairs is only at that branch on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And today was not one of those days. So obviously I couldn't collect my passport. Which is really annoying. And then on top of that, she said that I wouldn't be able to collect my passport up until such time that international travel is allowed under the lockdown regulations. So effectively the Department of Home Affairs has put an absolute freeze on the collection of passports, even if that application was done way long ago. But even though I'm not going to be using it for international travel, I can't collect my document. I'm very, very confused by this. And it being annoying is a little bit of an understatement. But more so than that, it would have been useful? If you just communicated that with me in your SMS and your email that you sent me about collecting my passport. "Dear client, your passport is ready for collection. Please note that you are only able to collect this passport once lockdown has been lifted. So don't waste your time driving all the way to town to your FNB branch to go." I think I'm not just upset for myself. I'm also annoyed by the department on behalf of people who don't have access to easy transportation like I do. I've got a car. I can get in my car, drive to town very quickly. I mean, it is a half an hour drive, but still, yeah, I can drive there by my own accord. I have money for petrol. I have access to so many of these things. For other people who are collecting their passports for some reason, they get a notification saying that the passport is ready for collection. Please collect it at the branch or wherever that you made your application, right? People are using public transportation. There are some people who have very little money to waste on that kind of thing, particularly now that it's like pandemic, you know. So they take a train, they get in a taxi, they walk all the way to Home Affairs only to be told, oh, no, sorry, actually, that was a mistake. You can only collect this like after lockdown. What's also like doubly worse is in that notice that they send you, they say that if you don't collect your documents after X date, they will be destroyed. So this has been a standing thing with the Department of Home Affairs, and I get it as a safety and security measure. But if you don't collect those documents, they do get destroyed, and then you have to reapply for the issuing of either a new passport, new ID, or whatever document it is that you are wanting to get. So in that communication, there is a sense of urgency that one needs to collect this thing, but that's totally misleading under the lockdown regulations. And I don't want to be funny, but it really doesn't take a genius just to change a setting on an SMS to include a little bit of text, please collect this only after the lockdown. You know? And speaking to the Department of Home Affairs and the issues that trans and gender diverse persons face with the department, if you're trans and gender diverse, accessing essential services under the lockdown really requires you to produce those official documentation in order for you to get access to those support and relief programs. And so suddenly when there's an incongruence between how you're presenting socially to the world and what's reflected on your documentation, that is a big problem, particularly under lockdown when that document is now more crucial than ever. So effectively the department has put a freeze on all amendments made to any of your official documentation. So currently I think under the lockdown restrictions one can only apply for temporary IDs, but not amendments. And so while I understand that government is taking certain precautions not to have too many people gather in one place at a time, and generally the Department of Home Affairs is quite crowded because they are so behind with their work, those kind of measures I do understand. The social distancing is really, really important, but it again shows where government's understanding is in terms of what is considered to be essential services for trans and gender diverse persons. Access to having your ID documents amended and have that reflected appropriately is absolutely critical, but that isn't being recognized at all. So if you've made your application for an amendment like before lockdown, that shouldn't necessarily be a problem. But I do know people who have made that amendment before the lockdown, but are still waiting. Like they have literally been waiting for almost 2 years just to have that little amendment reflected. Again, the Department of Home Affairs' administrative processes are in shambles. I don't know if I'm making like any kind of point with this. I guess I'm just expressing my frustration again with DHA because they have been notorious in their inefficiency, and that causes a lot of stress and anxiety and legitimate fear and concern, especially if you're trans and gender diverse, and especially if you're trying to access support and relief packages, both from the state and from private spaces. I've actually been really waiting impatiently for the Department of Home Affairs to open up amendments again so that I can actually go and have my gender marker changed. I've got all my letters, like everything is like ready to go. I'm literally just waiting for them to go, hey, come and do your application. Yeah, I think I'll actually make a video about me going to the Department of Home Affairs and you can actually see what it looks like. Horror show. Okay, I think I'm done complaining now. Thanks for watching. Do leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. And you can also head over to Instagram and follow me there for more videos and stories. Okay, see you in the next one. Ciao.